So, baby, this is the last episode of 2024.
Yes, it is.
This is the last one. I feel like now would be a real good time, to take a step back and a step forward.
Okay.
Just thinking about how much we've grown over the last year. And, to talk about something we love to talk about, which is relationship goals, marriage goals, and stuff like that for the upcoming year.
Okay.
So, to kick things off, how have you felt about the last year of our journey together?
Man, it's about creating content or just
content, everything, like in general.
Oh, I feel like we had so much momentum this year. Like we were really determined to do everything we had set out at the top of the year, even though we came into a lot of obstacles, things that were super unexpected, but we still like powered through and stayed consistent in everything we decided to go after, whether it be like creating content, bodybuilding, being better parents, being better for each other, like communicating better. It's just so much stuff. Like we really just was like, you know what, we just gonna go after it together, Yeah,
this last year, man, it's been probably one of the dopest years for our own personal growth and our growth, together as a couple. Like, man, we've overcome so much. And I think it's amazing that we set the goal this year for being consistent.
Yes.
In the things that we want to be consistent in. Of course, especially like the show, making sure that we get everything out on time and just growing through life with the objective of being consistent. Because what I didn't see coming was all of the new mindset that we would develop through having to challenge ourselves to be consistent, be it when we were going through, all types of struggles with our family, be it, in our immediate household, outside of us, the things that we had to overcome individually, through prep and all of those different things. Like we had so many small battles that we had to overcome and still show up anyway. I think that showed us so much of ourselves and who we're becoming because we didn't let those low emotional moments stop us or trying to figure out things as parents or figuring out how we were going to navigate the complexities of work and business and all of the things that we were dealing with on top of trying to keep a level head for creating content and stuff like that. So seeing that none of our obstacles were able to stop us was a dope thing for me. So that's probably been one of my biggest, like, just proud moments of the last year.
And I think, like, what made it dope is the fact that when we ran into those obstacles, we looked at them as opportunities. We was like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to grow. This is an opportunity for us to stand on what we said we was going to do at the top of the year.
Right.
This is an opportunity for us to push through in spite of how we're feeling. Even though it's like, man, I don't want to do this, we still show up. So it was an opportunity for us to prove to ourselves that we really wanted what we said we wanted.
Yeah.
And we did that shit.
Yeah.
Every single time. So.
And man, to give more clarity on that too, man, it's like, when we were going through all of what we went through, like we had to navigate, new challenges as far as being the parents of a teenager. Like we went through a lot of uncovering of ourselves, digging up stuff from our childhood that we were working through, like me discovering, different things about myself, limiting beliefs that I had, and working through some of that stuff. Like we've had disagreements about how we wanted to approach things in our business and like, found ourselves, like in some low points, just trying to figure out like what to do next. To where we had, like breaking communication as far as like, how are we going to navigate just all of the stuff that we were dealing with on top of you having to deal with prep and having to overcome, fatigue, exhaustion, not having haircuts and hair done, like all of those different things that we couldn't control.
Yeah.
And so all of those were opportunities that we could have stopped and been like, nah, you know what? We're going to push it back a day. We're going to wait or whatever the case, be it our personal appearance, how we were feeling emotionally, whatever. Like we busy schedules, like having to record late at night some days, because we weren't as ahead, and just being honest, what we should have done and all of that is recorded like in batches to where we were able to have stuff coming out and not have to show up every single week. But even though that happened, that was still an opportunity for us to show up and keep going in spite of, even if we were like to the day for most of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to be better about that this coming year, but it's still dope because even though we unintentionally gave ourselves the hardest route of doing it, it's the fact that we still did it.
Yes.
And I like the fact that we were able to do all of that and still grow through it. Mm-hmm. So that says a lot in and of itself because, bro, we, again, could have done better. Could have done better with how we approached it.
Of course,
but we did well.
Yeah, I think like even you don't know what you can get better at until you're consistent enough to see where you need to improve. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this year, like we were consistent enough to know exactly what we need to fix. And we wrote that shit down and we know exactly what we need to do moving forward in 2025. So it's like, yeah, we could have did better, but it's like moving forward, we know exactly what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what also this whole process has taught us also is like, we can make commitments to doing things and showing up consistently and still be good spouses and still be present parents and still prioritize our health and fitness and add in this other element that we want to be consistent in and figure it out. So even giving ourselves the opportunity for it to get a little bit mucky in the beginning and then figuring out how to integrate it into our lives rather than making excuses because of everything else that we got going on. So it was like, yeah, we got all of this other stuff happening in our lives, but this we said was a priority. Figure it out. Figure out what you need to do. It might be uncomfortable, but it ain't about it being uncomfortable. It's about us showing up and doing what we said we would do. Yes. And I think that is so dope because we didn't use our other commitments as excuses for the commitments that we did make in spite of, because we knew those things was coming. We knew obstacles and the, different things like that were going to show up. Yeah. But we didn't let it stop us from still showing up for each other, chasing other goals, doing other things that we need to do, showing up for other clients and things like that. It didn't stop none of that. And I think that that's also, you know, like been a reflection of what our marriage has been also. Regardless of the outside noise, like we stayed locked in on our mission together. Yes. And we were able to see yet another principle somewhere else that we use inside of our day-to-day marriage, inside of how we're running our show and the things that we're growing through in this process. Yes. So yeah, I like seeing how we were able to take another skill that we have in our marriage and use it somewhere else. Yes. So that's dope for me.
It's dope for us.
Absolutely. So now thinking about like the way ahead, what are you the most excited for our, you know, upcoming year for 2025?
Oh, what am I most excited about? Everything. All of it.
Thinking about like our goals and, you know, who we're becoming and all of that good stuff.
I can't even lie. I think I've said this already, but I think I'm most excited about us going into competition prep together because me doing it by myself changed me. Like it changed me into a totally different person that I didn't even know existed within me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be exciting to see who you become in your process. And I really just want to be there and support you the same way you supported me. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for what that looks like for us because I know it's going to unlock something in you that may be buried. Yeah. So I'm excited to meet the new you. Yeah. Yeah.
Me too, man. And like we've been talking about this for a while. Like I know for me, I do need another challenge. So I'm looking forward to going into, you know, prep for my first bodybuilding competition and seeing who I become in that process. Like we were saying before, like this year, it's not just about like, oh, we need to hit this mile marker and this mile marker, but going on this journey of becoming yet again and then letting that produce what it produces. Like we know we have goals for the show and what we want to do as far as, you know, creating content and all of that stuff. But all of that is a byproduct of our being. So what we're doing in this season, you know, just for the listeners and stuff like that, what we're doing is we're deciding the type of person that we want to become and what that person will be doing. Yes. That person will be creating more content, being more intentional in that space. That person will be making it a priority to be consistent in the things that we decide we want to be consistent in. Like it'll be the byproduct of our being and what we attach that stuff to, and like letting that show up in the areas that it does. And so I think that's a dope approach to a year, knowing that we're just going to determine who it is that we want to be, and then just seeing what that produces in everything else that we're doing.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's such a different process that most people probably don't do. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes about from that.
Me too.
Because, man, I know your process was a hell of a one. The last time you went through it for like bodybuilding and becoming who you became in that one. But this one is going to be different.
Yeah, I'm excited for this version of me because I kind of know what to expect moving forward. And I'm excited to push myself even harder than I did the last time because we weren't sure of how my body was going to react with me having fibromyalgia and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, we know for a fact I can push a little bit harder. So it's like, if I'm pushing myself harder, being way more intentional, what is that going to unlock in me now?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm hungry. Like, I'm just hungry for whatever that looks like, whoever I'm going to become. I don't know what she's going to look like. Shoot, I didn't even know that I would become this version of myself. So I'm super excited to meet the new me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just going after her and whatever she looks like, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited for it. Like, I know that this is going to be, it's going to be one of them years because of how we've, you know, determined that we want to really be intentional about that process of becoming again, like from picking up other skills to, you know, going on this journey together, seeing how we support each other through it, like all of those things. Like I can't even lie, man. I'm excited. Like, y'all are going to see soon till we finna get into this vlogging game. We're not talented in that yet.
Not yet.
But this is going to be our year to practice and figure it out.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. You know, that's going to be coming soon. And we got so many other things, man, that we want to do to just continue to show up more and show different sides of who we are and what we're growing into becoming. And I think that this is really going to be one of those years where we unlock another level of creativity and like determination and just abundance, man.
I think people don't realize how exciting it is to pursue personal goals while you're married, like while you're in a relationship. Like, I think too many people think that like once you get in a relationship, it's like you kind of like take away your own individuality. But when you're both going after your own personal goals, like it creates excitement. Yeah. It creates challenges for y'all to help each other overcome together. It creates a bond of like, dang, we really in this shit together. You know what I mean? So I think it's so exciting. And I think that's what keeps our marriage exciting is the fact that we do pursue our own personal goals that kind of funnel to whatever, you know, what our big picture is, you know? So, yeah, I just figured I would like throw that in there.
Yeah. Because it's so important to do those things because when we're going after goals together, it allows us, and it don't matter even if it's individual or if it's together, it allows us to be a part of each other's process.
For sure.
Because even if it's a shared goal or an individual goal, there's still something we have to do on the individual level. And like, I get to help you become that next version of you. Right. And you get to help me become that next version of me. And to me, there's no fear there at this point of having done it so many times because we get to love on each other, care for each other, support each other through it. So it's not becoming a new version of yourself and your partner not being there for the journey. The fact that we get to be there, we actually get to grow deeper in love in the process and get to see all of those small details and show up in all of those small but yet meaningful moments and all of those things to show a different type of love, a different type of care and support. Like, and that is exciting.
Yes.
And I know, man, that's an experience that I don't know if enough couples really are intentional and proactive about doing. Because, man, it's taken our relationship to a whole nother level. Being a part of the process in the pursuit of the goals.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So this is gonna be exciting.
It's already exciting.
It is.
It is.
It already is. Like, I'm looking forward to every last bit of it. And before we take this in another direction, what is what are your thoughts when it comes to the value of having those shared goals and things like that for others who might be listening and watching? Like, share some perspective around how you think and feel when it comes to shared personal goals, inside of your relationship, and how that truly like adds value to the relationship and the marriage itself. Or how has it done that in our relationship? Like the pursuit of our own shared goals and things like that.
Well, I mean, I think I mentioned that before. I think it's important to be aware that we're two individuals living our lives together. We're choosing to live our lives together, and going after things that are fulfilling for us personally helps our marriage because we're getting a sense of personal fulfillment and fulfillment within our marriage.
Yeah.
So as I can speak for myself, as I pursued my own personal goal of bodybuilding, it helped me become a better wife because I was fed in a way that I didn't know that I needed on that journey for myself. And it just helped me show up for you better because my cup was full.
Yeah.
And I was able to pour more into you and more into baby, and uncover things about myself that I didn't even know, So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
really it.
It makes me think about like when I got into creating content, around relationships and marriage and all of that stuff. Like, I didn't realize how fulfilling that was going to be to me. Like, and I know, man, my stuff, it really took off in a way that I didn't see coming.
Right.
And I didn't realize how much joy that was going to like bring to me personally. Being able to share, all of these vulnerable moments that I've had and all of these different experiences and use it in a way to where it was able to help other people. Like, I didn't realize how much I would grow and change in doing that, and how, like you said, it made me more accountable to who I was being as your husband. And it made me more aware of the smaller details because now I'm thinking about not only what we've done, but what I'm currently doing in the areas where I could be better and where I could be showing a little bit more intentionality. And like, it unlocked me in a level to where I was able to pay more attention to myself and even catch my own areas where I needed to grow more at.
Right.
And so, like you said before, having those shared goals and visions, like, it brings so much more fulfillment to you as an individual, but also to the relationship, because it even made me have to talk to you more and ask you about how I'm being and like all of these different things that just added to us individually and to where we're going ultimately together.
Right.
So it's amazing how we can have two totally different experiences or things that we're moving toward, be a part of each other's process, and it still be leading us toward what we ultimately want to have together.
Yes.
So yeah, man, that's been amazing. And I'm looking forward to a whole nother year of being able to do that at another level.
Absolutely.
Let's go. But hey, man, I hope you guys have gotten some real value from this episode. And we're looking forward to bringing in the new year, at a whole new level and still continuing to bring an abundance of value and taking you guys along on our journey. So stay locked in with us, man. Let us know what you think about the show and all the content. And until next time, family, my name is John Tron. This is my beautiful queen.
Adoria.
We are one dope couple. And until next time, family, peace and love.